This is More Knowledge, More Wealth with your host, Gabriel Shahin. Gabriel is a certified financial planner and a registered investment advisor at Falcon Wealth Planning. This show does not intend to provide personalized investment advice through this broadcast and does not represent that the services or securities discussed are suitable for any investor. Investors are advised not to rely on any information contained in the broadcast in the process of making a full informed investment decision. Now here's your host, Gabriel Shahin.
Good day, this is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth. Here on every weekend talking about all important topics of personal finance. My job is to go over the knowledge you need to improve your wealth. Now to the listener, you can always reach out to myself or any one of my colleagues here at Falcon Wealth Planning. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short, where you can get this episode and any one of our previous episodes as well. And you can always sign up for iHeartRadio, podcasts, or Spotify to get a whole list of all our inventory of shows that we've done. And that's a mouthful, right? And we have our YouTube channel where we have so much cool ideas and strategies that you could be taking advantage of. And just if you have a request of a video that you do want to see, like we just got one recently on Medicare's difference between A, B, C, D, and these supplemental plans, send a message to radio@falconwp.com. That's radio@falconwp.com. Folks, I am the president of Falcon Wealth Planning. We are a fee-only, non-commissioned, true fiduciary, folks. And we handle pretty much everything that involves a dollar sign. I don't care what it is. I don't if it's talking about where you are today and the goals you're trying to achieve, talking about retirement, Social Security, estate planning, insurance, taxes, investments, folks, you name it. Anything that involves a dollar sign, we can help you with, folks. And that's why we're offering 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time at no cost, folks. Give us a call. We got offices all over. We would love to help. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Folks, this is a lot going on right now. I mean, just a lot of news has come up in the past few weeks. And I kind of just want to go over them. I did a couple social media posts. I'm more active on LinkedIn. I'm trying to get into Twitter. And I did some and just had so much positive feedback from it. I wanted to share with you. So I'm actually pulling that up for those that are on the video cast here. So I'll be breaking eye contact and really just wanted to discuss that with you, especially as we're going into this holiday season, right? We got Christmas right around the corner. So happy early Christmas to everybody. Hopefully you're spending good times with family. But as you're getting together with family, there could be some really cool things that you guys could be talking about. And I thought I would share with you just a post I did about Otani. And so now Otani, the Dodgers just picked him up for $700 million. Now at first, the first comment was like, oh my God, that is crazy. And so $700 million over 10 years, that's $70 million a year. I mean, that's insane. So my first comment was just talking about taxes, okay? And talking about fees these players have. Now, first off, let's start off. We're not crying any river for these players that are making tens of millions and will be getting $500 million more over 10 years. But the idea is that what a lot of people don't realize is the federal tax rate on $70 million is almost $26 million. California's 13+% tax rate is about $10 million. FICA tax is over $1 million. And then you have jock tax, which is $2 million. Agent fees, about $2 million. I mean, guys, that's for somebody making $70 million, that's over $40 million in taxes. They take home less than $30 million when they make 70. It's just, if you think you're the only one complaining about taxes, I mean, the richer you get, the more you pay. Because the top brackets get higher and higher, and it caps out at 37%. Will eventually be 40% come 2026. 39.6 to be exact. But sometimes I get this question. Is it even worth to continue to work? Because it all goes to taxes. The key word is all. In this case, for Otani specifically, okay, in his case, he's getting $70 million, and the IRS and taxes and fees are getting over $40 million. He's getting $30 million of the 70. To put that in perspective, he's still walking away with almost 43% of his pay. Which means for every dollar he makes, it's not like 100% is going to taxes. Sure, over 50, almost 57% is going to taxes, but that means he's making 43. You get what I'm saying? It's never a bad idea to work. There would be no motivation if 100% went to taxes. You get what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind for you. The smart thing to do in a situation like this for Otani is to try to defer as much income as possible, which I'll get to later, because a lot of you already know this now with his contract that came out. He's not actually getting $70 million a year. He's getting $2 million a year. Why? Because the guy gets $50 to $60 million a year just in endorsements. He actually deferred the other side, which I'll go into detail of how idiotic that was. But the idea is putting a strategy in place for you. Now, assuming Otani is, let's just say, charitably inclined. I heard he likes to help out in Japan. He's from there. He has strong ties there. I get it. I respect it. So can you send money directly to Japan and get a tax write-off? The answer is kind of, sort of, not really. Because the way you get a write-off is a 501c3 corporation, nonprofit corporation. So if you send it directly to Japan, you're not getting that 501c3 corporation. They don't have a federal ID number, a tax ID number, to allow you to get that tax write-off here in America. So no, he cannot. Which means for certain situations like you that you may want to give and help overseas. I've seen that recently with wars, whether it's in Ukraine, whether it's in Gaza, Israel, whatever the case is. Now, there are third parties that do things here, like the Red Cross, American Red Cross, and some other entities as well. Now, some of you may not like or whatever the case is. My point is if you don't like it and want to be in 100% control, you can create your own nonprofit. That won't be a public nonprofit. Most likely it would be a private 501c3. But the point is you can have it achieved. Hey, there's an annoying amount of red tape behind it. Depending on the state you live in, like in California, the attorney general has to approve it through your statement of purpose and a bunch of other things. But the point is it can be done. Isn't it weird that like the biggest billionaires in the world have nonprofits, like Bill and Melinda Gates and the Warren Buffetts? And look at Jeff Bezos and McKinsey. He donated billions upon billions upon billions. Part of it's because of the tax deduction, because you have to look at it like this. If you give $1 billion, let's just say Otani were to give $1 million, you know how his tax rate is 57%? Guess what? He saves 57% in taxes because he just lowered his income. So now if he gives $1 million to charity, he will now save $570,000 in taxes. This is important for you if you're selling a business. This is important for you if you have a windfall or if you sell a property. This is important for you in general if you have a big bonus. Heck, win the lottery. Whatever the case is. This is why it's so important to have a team in place and to plan in advance. A lot of people don't do this. This is why we're doing our massive reach out. This is why we have our social media campaigns and why we converted our radio show now to podcasts where everybody all across the country can hear what we're telling you. There are ways you can legally, allowably take advantage of the current tax files that are available for you, depending on what your interest is. Sure, it would be fantastic depending on the way you get paid, or you can maybe defer some of that income, maybe even put it into a retirement account, maybe put it into a defined benefit account, maybe put it into other mechanisms and vehicles. There are many ways to do it. Then you got an estate planning issue. Government only says you can have $12 million to your name. Anything over that, 40% goes to Uncle Sam. You get what I'm saying? And oh, by the way, that 12 million is about to drop to 6 million come 2026. So many things are going on here, but a lot of people are just not aware. By the way, folks, if you're just joining me, you're listening to Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth. You're on every weekend talking about all important topics of personal finance. And today we're talking about the simple concepts of taxes, yourself, current events, and what you should be doing for planning purposes. Because another thing is, before you even get to the point where you get that massive windfall coming in, what are you doing today to ensure that that windfall comes in the most tax efficient manner, number one. Number two, in the most liquid manner to you, number two. And number three, in the most efficient. For example, I'm going to pay you $1 million for your house. You want me to give you the $1 million today? Or how about in 10 years from now? Well, to Otani's point of view, it's in 10 years from now. And I'll go into much more detail of that a little bit later. But the idea of this is taking a look at your situation in general, because it's the same concept and philosophy with your retirement account. You're going to have to pay taxes on that puppy. You're just kicking the can down the road. How about instead of you getting nailed with higher taxes, you make a decision on what it looks like today and what you can do. Some people say Roth conversion. Some people say just living off of it. Some people say giving it to charity. Some people talk about gifting. There are so many different things that you can do that you're just not aware of. And that's why we're offering a free financial assessment. We'll give you 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time at no cost, folks. Give us a call. We would love to help. And our goal is to make sure that you don't have these issues that pop up, because there's two sides of it. There's a vanity piece to it where everybody wants to be successful, has the most money possible. And number two is I just want to be fine and not worry about money. You know, I got a lot going on. I'm sure I'm going to be fine, right? Talking as you and potentially. But you're a lot going on may be causing you additional stresses. Might have like the mail that you get in general. It's like, oh, I just got another bill. Some of them might be checks in the mail, which is a blessing, which is great. But it's just there's so much going on and you need to make sense of it all. Are you taking full advantage of everything? I can't tell you how many times I look at a tax return. I look at the Schedule E. I look at the list of real estate, and they're not even writing off property tax. They're forgetting to depreciate. You know, or I look at a business and there's no office supplies as an expense. Well, I'm online. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have any office supplies? Don't focus so much on your work where you forget the details. And it's okay to forget the details, but you have to delegate somebody to take care of it. For business owners, they call those employees. For certain people, they call them friends or spouses. But for successful people, they call them partners. I recommend giving us a call, seeing what you need. If maybe it is you and you just need to do it yourself, you just need to be more organized, or if you can't hire a professional to do it. It might not be a financial advisor. It might not be a tax consultant. It might not be an estate attorney. It might not be a manager. It's just somebody, depending on your situation, that can help you in your situation and make sure nothing's slipping through the cracks. Because even if that costs you $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000, if it could save you double, isn't it worth it? Hey, I got $20 in my pocket. How about you give me 10 and I give you 20? You get what I'm saying? It's literally like that. Except it might be, give me 10 today, I'll give you 20 at the end of the year. You know you're not going to get 100% return on your investments. You know you're not going to be able to get 100% on anything else. But this 100% return comes in the form of potential tax savings. I say it all the time. You can't afford to be cheap. Folks, we're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the other side of Otani's groundbreaking contract here, but more important, tying it to you and what you should be doing. We'll be back after a few words.
This is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth. That's on every weekend. We're going over all important topics of personal finance. We're going over retirement planning, making sure you're prepared for retirement, Social Security and strategies, real estate, taxes, avoiding them now and in the future, investments, reducing fees, commissions, and so on, insurance, and estate planning. Folks, we are offering a free financial assessment that you could take advantage of. We have offices all across Southern California, including the Inland Empire. Give us a call to take advantage. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird, or visit our website, falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short. Enjoy the show. We look forward to serving you.
Welcome back, folks. This is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth, here on every weekend, talking about all important topics of personal finance. And today we spent that first segment just talking about taxes, planning, and so on. And I thought, what the heck? We got Christmas coming up around the corner. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be gathering around, friends and family, and we're here to discuss the simple things of hot topics. Hey, did you hear about the Dodgers spending crazy amounts on Otani? I think that's going to come up during the holidays. I don't care if you're a fan or not. The idea is it's a hot conversation. That's a lot of money. I might have my son Abraham out now look to play baseball. I mean, my goodness, it was kind of crazy, right? So, going into more detail. Now you have to look at the structure of the deal. And this is just in everything. I'll go as far as saying even when you're negotiating a salary. Why, have you ever thought about, everything is under negotiation. Have you ever thought about just the simple thought of negotiating for additional paid time off? Hours, an assistant, days working from home versus the office. Have you ever thought about these type of negotiating tactics? Are you aware? I don't care if you're working at Apple. I don't care if you're working at Kroger Grocery Market. And not that that's the bottom of the pool or anything at all. I'm just giving you two extremes. One tech, one non-tech. Or whether it's at Raytheon or Boeing, right? Whether it's wherever. Have you ever thought about negotiating your situation? Because it could help because you got to take a few steps back. Your situation right now, there's merit to you being at the company for 1, 2, 5, 10, 15 years. Now, if you're at a company for 5, 10, 15 years, they know who you are versus somebody else that they have to hire and not know their personality, their work ethic, their commitment, and their understanding. You understand? So use that to your benefit. I'm not telling you to extort or maybe that's an aggressive word, but I'm not telling you to play unfairly with your employer where they're not going to like you, where they feel like you're holding them hostage. But to be fair, have common sense with it. I think it's very fair, especially if you're efficient and you're a top performer. I think these are important concepts that sometimes go overlooked. Tying that into Otani and his negotiation deals. Now, Dodgers wanted him. He made it very clear that he wanted to stay in California. Why? Well, Japan is the closest. California is the closest state to Japan, right? He has ties in Southern California. In Los Angeles and South Bay, there's a massive, large Japanese community there between the Hondas and the Toyotas, which now moved, and so on, Samsungs, excuse me, not the Samsungs, plus that being Korean. But there's a large Japanese community in South Bay. So he wants to stay here. Okay? So they came up with a unique structure of paying Otani $68 million over 10 years, $20 million over 10 years, and the rest over the $680 million over the 10 years after his contract expires. That is deferred. Now, I went on record calling that absolute stupidity, that 97% of his pay will be paid from 2034 to 2043. That's kind of crazy. And I kind of was joking, saying, I wished I was a financial planner there. It's kind of a steal. Because I look at it from the time value of money. Would you rather have me give you $1 million for your home today or in 10 years from now? Obviously today. Because that $1 million, you could even put it in a 5% treasury right now and make $50,000 a year off that over 10 years. That's $1.5 million. You get what I'm saying? I would just go buying things left and right and saying, I'll pay you in 10 years. I'll pay you in 10 years. I'll pay you in 10 years. Makes no sense. So I started thinking, did Dodgers really get like a steal of a century with him? I mean, there might not be a contract like this ever again because of how stupid it was structured on behalf of Otani and his team. So what are you saying, Gabriel? I'm saying the following. He's only getting $2 million over the next 10 years, okay? But from a time value of money point of view, and this was my point I said here, it is absurdly stupid. That's what I'm quoted saying on my social media feed. And for the main reason is this. If you look at just if he were to earn 7% on that money, he can double it in 10 years. 7%. Now, these people are making much more than that because they're buying a store here and they're buying a franchise here and a bunch of things like that. So it's a lot easier for them because those are like direct and they're not passive, right? Those are active. You're doing a business. But let's just say the stock market. That $700 million, assuming he got it cash free, would be $1.4 billion after 10 years. But it's a reverse engineering now because remember, he's not getting the remaining $680 million in his contract for 20 years, 10 years after he retires. He gets $68 million a year for 10 years. It's kind of crazy. So here's the way I looked at it. If you were to invest $197 million today at a 9% rate of return, now keep in mind you have to pay him, right? Because if you make, let's do simple math. If you have $200 million a year, if you make 10% on that, that's $20 million, right? But you only have to pay him $2. So an extra $18 million gets reinvested year after year after year. After 10 years, even after paying him $2 million a year, which is $20 million over 10 years, that money, that $200 million, 197 to be exact, will grow to $436 million. And then from there, Dodgers has $436 million, okay? And they're paying him out $68 million a year from 20 what did we say? 34 to 2043, that money at the end of 10 years goes to zero, which is what they want. This is, of course, assumes they get 9%, every single year over a 20-year period. But the point is the time value of money of that is $197 billion, which is absolutely insane. So it got me thinking, how great is his contract, right? Because if you think about it, I'm now going to compare it to Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, and Aaron Judge, the top three that get paid $426 million, $365 million, and $360 million. That's what we're going to do here in just a minute. By the way, folks, if you're just joining me, you're listening to Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth here on every weekend, talking about all important topics of personal finance. And today I just thought, man, let's talk about the news that came out a few weeks back. Right? This holiday season, let's talk to the families, bring up something. You got your awkward uncle, you don't know what to talk to him about? Hey, throw these facts at him. Did you know? Because the $700 million is stretched over 20 years, if you take the time value of money of that, it only needs to be invested today $197 million for the Dodgers. If you compare that to Mike Trout, who gets $426 million, not over 10 years, but 12 years, that's a time value of money today of $254 million versus the $197 million for Otani. His contract is worth more. Interesting, huh? Let's take it a step further. Mookie Betts, $365 million over 12 years. Okay. Time value of money of that, because remember, he gets paid all of that over 12 years, not the 20. Time value of that is $217, so Mike Trout's still larger. Aaron Judge, $360 million over 90 years. He gets $40 million a year. Time value of money of that is $240 million, also more than Otani. Otani's $197. Three of these players, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, and Aaron Judge, I would argue, make more than Otani. Because once they get that money over 10 years, right, they can then invest it. I know we went from 9% to 7%, but I like 7% as a number. Why? Because stock market does 10. 7 is less than that. And the beauty of 7% is every 10 years your money doubles. But keep in mind, by the time Otani, by 2043, gets his last paycheck of $68 million, that money, that $68 million is probably worth, at a 3.5% inflation, probably worth $34 million in today's dollars at 3.5%. You get what I'm saying? So it's not as great as it seems. This is why it's important, no matter how smart you are, no matter how powerful you are. And this is how you could tell the Dodgers are just geniuses. Not only did they end up saving money on a luxury tax, but they really paid him less than Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, and Aaron Judge. Keep in mind, all three of those players, I could go as far as saying every single one of the players in the MLB are one-way players. They pay pitchers $30 to $40 million a year. Now, keep in mind, he might not be able to pitch for 1 or 2 years, but the point is, he's a fantastic pitcher. So it's like you're getting 2 for 1 for one of these guys, which is amazing, which we haven't seen that since Babe Ruth. To this caliber, we can argue Otani has better numbers all the way around. So the concept here is, you can tell David fought Goliath. Unfortunately, Goliath won. What do I mean by that? Well, the Dodgers are Goliath. They're massive, worth billions of dollars, done deals like this all day long. And Otani seems like a simple, very kind man. I'm sure he's very smart, and I'm sure his team is smart, but he accepted a deal that's inferior to the 3 highest paid people right now, when he's supposedly the biggest prospect of not even the generation, probably in the past 100 years. So this is the important part that you need to learn from. When you're making important decisions, like Otani's life-changing generational wealth decision, you probably should seek outside counsel, if nothing else, for a different perspective. If I was sitting across the table from Otani, I like to think I can get him $800 million. Or not from Otani, but against the Dodgers, I think I can get him $800 million. Because those numbers needs to pay at least what Mike Trout's getting paid. And oh, by the way, he's a two-way player. Maybe I could have got him $1 billion. You get what I'm saying? The idea of how his pay was structured. I'm starting to say $1 billion under his current pay structure, which wouldn't have even been that much more for Mike Trout than Mike Trout. It's just crazy, folks. And this is somebody that has, I'm sure, I would hope, that obviously have an agent and a manager. Obviously. I would hope they have a financial professional there. Obviously, they have attorneys, I would hope, looking over those contracts and agreements. I mean, you would think they have a team of maybe 5 people across the table trying to make this deal happen. And in my opinion, it's a crap deal. Now, if he's that selfless, God bless him. And this is a person that will win championship rings because he knew what he was doing and he wanted the lower pay. He just wanted the sound of $700 million. I respect it. That's fine. I get it. But for someone like you, do you have a team with you across your table making a decision of retirement? If you should pay off your home? If you should buy or lease the next car? Whether you want to or not, I don't care. If you think you should or should not, that doesn't matter. What makes you the most money? I don't believe in debt. I agree. I don't like debt. Who likes debt? But utilizing debt is necessary. You understand? I don't want to inject my body with a vaccine. Forget COVID, right? That's debatable enough. But with flu shots, forget that too, right? You may not even do that. How about the measles or the mumps, right? How about the things that you get as a kid? Obviously, you do those. Very few people don't do those. Chickenpox, polio, whatever the case is, all those. You know what I mean? So I don't want to do that. I don't like it, but it's sometimes necessary. So there's things you have to do. You may not like to, but you know it's prudent. How come you're not doing that with your finances? I don't understand. I could go as far as saying Otani messed up. Well, how about you? You doing this on your own? Well, because I'm sure you've done this a million times. I'm sure you're retired all the time, right? Yeah, you've experienced retirement so many times. Or is it just once? Oh, well, my spouse did it. I saw it. Oh, so maybe twice. Oh, my dad did it too. Like, take a step back. Professionals do this every single day and know things that you will never know because we live it, breathe it, read it, and just end of the day, execute on it. Talk is cheap. I want to see execution, which is why experience matters in this business. We probably retired 50 times alone last month, just as a firm, through our clients. Smart person learns from their mistakes. Smarter person learns from others' mistakes. Sometimes you make a bad decision, you lose the money, but guess what? You lose the money, but you earn and learn the lesson. All I'm trying to say is, don't do this alone, especially when you have an opportunity to take advantage of a free financial assessment. We'll give you 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time, folks, at no cost. Folks, our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short. You can actually fill in time, choose a time for us to meet right there on the site. You can get our previous episodes, and you go to our Knowledge Center as well. You can get that information. The point is that we're here to help. And listen, I get it. We're going to selflessly help you. We will. We're not going to not help you. We're going to tell you what you need to do. If you want to work with us, that's where we hope it selfishly benefits us. Obviously, we'd like to work with you. I'm not saying we're not. But take advantage of the information we give you. Let us show you what you probably don't know. If nothing else, you get a pat in the back. I don't know, folks. It's just an interesting time that we're in right now. And it's something that you have to prepare for. New Year's coming up, and what are you doing about it? Folks, that was a fast show, and thank you for tuning in with me this weekend. You could always reach out to myself or any one of my colleagues here at Falcon Wealth Planning. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short. And you can go to our website, like I said, the Falcon Wealth Planning, and go on our Knowledge Center. It's a fantastic tool. You get market updates, you get this podcast show through video, and most importantly, that Knowledge Center on YouTube, where we've had almost 1 million views, and we can give you ideas and strategies and executions of things from Social Security all the way down to a solar project on commercial and bonus depreciation. So we would love to help you, folks. Give us a call. We'll offer a free financial assessment, 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours, and we can help put you in the right direction. Folks, that was a fast show. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend, fantastic holiday, Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you next week for the Happy New Year. Take care.